The blasphemy you talk, let me know that your amazing grace gon' be delayed. You niggas should be ashamed. The fact you had to bring those talks to get some decent plays, goodness grace. God wanna wipe that little smug look right off of your fucking face. All you really did was cap like uppercase. Dodge the truth, but still managed to finally get a hit that let you run a base. Niggas saw you out at first, you need them, so you out at home now, just like a double play. As for these other suckers that's tucked away, I'm down to put bills on their face. No wonder why they been ducking Drake.
Yo, what is up, you guys? It's Jay the Great here, and as you can tell by the title of today's video, this will be my final large-scale engagement in any kind of hostile activity, whether it's with Noodles, aka Cuckboy, or anyone else for that matter. First off, thank you to my brother Batman for allowing me to post this here. As you all know, I recently did a draining of the swamp on my channel to give it just a more positive image, to give it a more inviting sort of image, because let's be honest, outside like an if you see fucking a couple of dumbasses talking shit to each other over fiction, who's gonna want to watch that if you don't have some sort of involvement or to that already or beforehand, right? Let's be honest. So that's why I did that. So firstly, I want to discuss the debate itself. So this is going to be my most objective analysis of the debate as I can possibly bring to you guys. So the beginning was probably my shakiest performance, the very beginning prior to the packing. We were discussing AP, we were discussing the astral plane comparison and connection to the real world. I brought up Killer Bee's statement, I don't have as much might in here. Noodle said, okay, that just proves he's weaker. That just means the Ninetales is weaker as well. I basically implied, okay, that just offsets. That's still a feat for Minato AP wise, because again, he still made it a restrained Ninetales to an extent and was weak himself. Right. After that, we kind of didn't go anywhere. I had a shaky start. I could have been a little bit more aggressive, more assertive. But then Noodles made the biggest miscalculation in the entire debate. He woke me up. He woke me up with packing. And as soon as I got a whiff of that, I annihilated him in the packing. He had nothing. He had no real ammo against me. He never could defeat me in that. So he woke me up. Then we went back to the debate. After that, it was all she wrote. I don't think it was that competitive at all after that point. What happened after the packing, was me using superior logical argumentation and rationalization with empirical backing. While Noodles, all he could simply do because he was inferior, he couldn't refute anything I said, was introduce baseless, unsubstantiated skepticism. This is what he literally said. This is one of the horrendous arguments that he gave. I said, when someone blocks in combat, right, without being the context, there's a high probability that they're attempting to ward off damage or at least lessen damage as much as possible. So blocking is evidence in itself that damage will occur. You know what he said? How about if they're just blocking just cuts? What the fuck does that even mean? That's how I knew I had him. He couldn't refute my superior argumentation. Because here's what I don't think even he understood. When it comes to fictional based reality, there's a lot of narrative and events in the history that are obscure, with the reason for that being there's only so many pages an author can draw in, and there's only so many hours of media that animators can make to illustrate a narrative. Because of that, implication is needed. Implication is inevitable. Right, so for example, with Yugito versus Kakuzu and Hidan, we see the beginning, we see the end, we don't see what happens in the middle. So what does that mean? The most logical process to essentially participate in is to imply what happened based off the beginning and the end. What do we see in the beginning? Kakuzu and Hidan getting physically overwhelmed. What do we see at the end? Yugito defeated by what seems to be the ritual of Hidan. What does that most likely imply? Yugito full power is superior to them physically, but due to their hacks abilities, they were able to overwhelm her over time. Noodles was not able to combat that. He was not, because I established more probable claims. There's a difference between possibilities and probabilities. Now, if we simply both introduced baseless, unsubstantiated possibilities, then it would be equal interpretation, right? Because there wouldn't be any empirical or logical backing to either side. Right, so then it would be equal interpretation, but that was not the case. Noodles could not present a more probable claim than I could when it came to the durability of Kakuzu and when it came to the speed of Kakuzu. He could not do so. And towards the end, I basically said, okay, so I've established he's not as durable as you claim, and he's slower than Minato. So what would happen? Simply put, even with the diamond armor, he wouldn't be able to activate it in time because Minato would blitz him. That's essentially the conclusion to that debate. What I observed is that Noodles would move from point to point. After he got pushed into a corner, he would move on until what happened? He went to judgment I never agreed to with judges I never agreed to have. And if no one believes me, please show me proof that I agreed. Please show me a text, a DM, and I will pay you money. In fact, there's actually a text, I'll probably show it somewhere here in a public Discord server, where I was under the assumption that there wouldn't be judgment by specific judges. I'll probably show it here. That was prior to the debate itself. I never agreed to judges. I never agreed to those specific judges. I never agreed to judgment by specific people. I never did that. And what's even more convenient is that Noodles just knew who to go to after the debate was over. Oh, Apollo, what's your judgment? Six, what's your judgment? Like, he knew exactly who to go to after that. Very convenient. Sounds scripted. Now, I don't think I'm even sounding conspiratorial. The puzzle pieces just fit the puzzle. What else would you conclude? You don't agree to the judgment. You don't agree to judges. Noodles strategically ends a debate because he can't beat me, and he goes to judges I never agreed to. Well, there was multiple people in that voice chat. He didn't ask who wants to judge. He did not. He simply went to these people. So clearly, I didn't take anything those judges said seriously. At all. At all. So before I get to the judgments themselves, in a nutshell, that was the debate. A shaky start from me, with it being AP, which was basically irrelevant anyways. I argued in a superior manner that Kakuzu more likely wouldn't even be able to activate his diamond armor, and without a diamond armor, he's just another ninja, as evident by the fact that he would block punches, block attacks, engage in hand-to-hand combat, block shots. He would harden his body to explosives, so clearly he would lose to Minato without the diamond armor. That was my argument. He couldn't refute it. He went to judgment that I didn't agree to. So there's that. If anyone thinks they have an argument as to why I lost that isn't bullshit, please let me know in the comments. No one, as of now, has given me a real argument as to why I lost. No one. No one has. Because there isn't an argument to be made. I had the superior argumentation. I had the superior logic. I had the superior supplemental backing with empirical evidence. In fact, I think he couldn't track at times. I honestly think I showed a gap in our intelligence. Because when he kept saying, quantify this, quantify that, quantify this, I had to explain to him, you can't quantify specifically with numerical values everything in a fictional based reality unless it's stated by the author. You can't. So what does that mean? You use qualitative analysis, which is a more pragmatic way to power scale individuals when you don't have specific calculations handed to you. And for those that still don't understand, an example of a qualitative analysis would be, character A punched a building and cracked it. Character B punched a building and completely destroyed it. So character B is more likely more powerful. That's a qualitative analysis. He didn't understand that there's multiple things that I would present to him. He's like, he didn't track. He didn't track what I was saying. That just shows a gap in our knowledge and our ability. So there's that. But going to the judgment now. Starting off with the dude Apollo. His judgment introduced new arguments for Noodles. He gave a more thorough argument for why Kakuzu and Hidan do scale physically to Yugito than Noodles did. Oh, he emphasized the narrative emphasis of the cat and mouse game between Yugito and Kakuzu and Hidan. Like, Noodles didn't even say that. Either way, that argument would end up being mine, because I gave empirical backing to mine. You're simply speculating what's going on. I'm giving empirical backing based off what we do see as to what's happening, rather than just speculative, baseless assumptions. I'm giving backing to mine, to where my arguments are no longer assumptions. It's induction. It's a higher form, more guaranteed form of logic, essentially. So there's the first judgment. I didn't take it serious. Next up was Six's judgment, and I have plenty to say about Six, which I'll get to in a second. But starting off with the judgment, he said I didn't put up a fight. I immediately just disregarded that bullshit. That was complete bullshit. A complete misrepresentation of the debate. In fact, if he said that about Noodles, I would still think it's bullshit. Because he did put up a fight. He lost, but he put up a fight. So, complete bullshit. It honestly sounded scripted. Oh, if we flip a coin, it's low or no diff. Come on, man. So, segueing onto Six himself now. First off, Six, we both know this. You never asked me if you could judge the debate. You never asked me that. You never asked if I'm okay with it. You never did any such thing. You asked me if you could react to it, and I said, sure, whatever. I was never aware of that. Again, I didn't agree to this judgment. I didn't agree to judges, period. And that sounded scripted. That was a very condescending judgment. You were not respectful at all. Very deceitful in the way that you conducted yourself up until the debate. Very deceitful. I didn't even know you were fucking in the server. To be quite honest with you, I didn't fucking know. Conveniently, you just show up and you're ready to fucking judge. Very deceitful. Very deceitful and very condescending the way in which Six conducted himself there. Now, to talk on Six, first off, we're not close. I already know what Six is going to say. Probably what he said about Batman when they had a beef years ago. Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not even that close. I don't give a fuck if we are. This is just my observations from the interactions we have had. There's been times where you asked me to come on stream. Again, I'm not saying you need to come on or I give you some sort of clout or anything, but you've asked me to come on and then you have this dismissive nature. I make a joke. It's homophobic, bro. Are you fucking serious? Is that what you fucking came on to do? To waste my fucking time and talk shit? Why come on in the first place? To talk down on me because you have more fucking subscribers? So it's just strange to me, the interactions we have had. It's like this weird, two-faced, dismissive nature many times that we've interacted. You're dismissive, like, okay. Or you're condescending, you're homophobic. Like, bro, you fucking asked me to come on my shit and you come talk shit. Like, what's your play here? What's the angle you're trying to take? What's your intention by coming on? To like impose your superiority as if you have any just because you have more fucking subscribers? Come on, man. The dude's always been strange. He's been dismissive. He's been a little condescending. This was blatantly deceitful, what he did here. And I let it slide. I would bite my tongue on those streams. I would bite my tongue most of the time, but not anymore. Because I just don't give a fuck now. Because as you all know, obviously, my channel, I drained the swamp. I'm not even probably ever going to speak about these people ever again. Maybe on a stream of people action, I'll speak on it here and there. But never in a large scale will I ever speak about these people again, to be honest with you. It just doesn't matter. It really fucking doesn't. And with that being said, this community in general, because I've been around it long enough, is a very smoke and mirrors community. I've had multiple encounters with this kind of character. With Clyde, before he fallen out with him, he was two-faced as well. He was trying to instigate me and Noodles as well. He was trying to instigate me to debate him. He tried to leverage his clout when he promised to come on to my podcast prior to that. He tried to leverage that to debate Noodles. I didn't like that. I'm not no one's token. I said, you don't have to come on. I'm not debating Noodles. It is what it is. And what did he do? He came at me. You're an evasive guy. You're evasive. Okay, come on the podcast by yourself then if I'm evasive. Blocked me. That's just the kind of people we're dealing with in this community. And that's obviously not everyone. The legend Swakage, there's a reason he's been gone so long. He doesn't want to fuck with these people. And then there's other guys that are just doing their shit and probably smarter than I am because I probably should have done the same thing these guys are too. TG and Sage, those are my dogs. I should have been doing what they're doing since the jump. I should have just stayed clear of this fucking toxicity and I should have just stuck to content. Those guys are smart. Those are the goats. Those are the real goats. That's why Swag has been retired so long and barely interacts with people anymore. And that's why TG and Sage just stay in their lane. So shout out to them. But going back to what I was saying, this community is a cesspool. And everyone in it is constantly in an arms race to be superior, to be the most admired, to be the most respected. I have an ego too. But I will not win at any cost. When it comes to just hard work and outskilling someone, yes. But I will not backstab someone. I will not be deceitful and not bullshit. I've never been that kind of person. I never will be. Never. No matter how many subs I lose or gain or don't gain, it doesn't fucking matter. That will never be the fucking case. No matter how much money's on the table. Because I was in Clyde's circle. I was in there prior to the pedophilia exposition that Clyde put on Seth, only to go back to him and Noodles doing the same thing. I thought that he was one of the good guys. I thought he was cool. I was in his circle. I could have stayed in it if I was just a cuck like Noodles and said, all right, I'll do what you tell me to do, blah, blah, blah. I could have done that. I could have. And I probably sacrificed thousands of fucking subscribers. I honestly probably did. But I don't give a fuck if it means I have to sacrifice my character and my integrity. It does not matter to me. Noodles can't do the same thing. Clearly, Clyde can't do the same thing. Because their reasoning for going back to that dude Oh, well, if I'm friends with him, there's obviously a reason for it, right? That's Clyde's reasoning. Noodles. Well, if he's making money, might as well hop on the train. That's Noodles' reasoning. Literally. These dudes went back to this fucking criminal because he's making profit. That's the reality of the situation. I will never do that shit. I don't give a fuck how many subscribers I've lost because of that. I don't give a fuck. That's what people with a real integrity do. People with a real conviction do. They don't fucking try to justify their actions. It's because I know him so long and fuck that. The dude committed a fucking crime and he got off easy. That's just a reality. And all these dudes are fucking gargling his fucking balls again. Fuck that. That's not what we do around these parts. That'll never be the case. Ever. So, and that's one thing I take pride in. Tell me one person that was in that circle besides Swaikage who didn't turn the other cheek that's not me. Name one person besides Swaikage that didn't turn the other cheek after Seth got exposed. Name one person. I'll wait. So, that's why me and Batman, after that debate with that fucking loser, we talked it through and we said, you know what? It's not worth it. Yeah, we get a little bit of publicity. Yeah, we get a little bit of attention, but it's hostile. It's toxic. He doesn't really have clout like that anyway. It's not like it fucking benefits us tremendously. I mean, Noodle's been stuck at like 6.9K for fucking months. He doesn't really benefit us in that manner. My ego got in the way, and again, I'll admit my mistake. Let me admit my mistakes now for a second. My ego's been big for a long time. My ego has made me want to destroy Noodles for a long time. My ego has actually made me ignore real content that I've been working on for a long time because I wanted to destroy that fucktard and demolish him argumentatively and physically. But that's done. That's done. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to stick to entertainment. We're going to stick to just regular content. There's only one way that me and Noodles ever interact again. He asked me to fly him out. He shows up. I beat his ass. That's it. That's the only way this ends. I will never debate him again unless he pays me a substantial amount of money. And that's it. But with that being said, I will engage in debates with, cordial, more noble content creators. I probably won't post it on my channel, but yeah, that's fun. I like debating when it's just a regular debate. That's fine. But when it comes to the hostile bullshit, the hostile content, the hostile activities, it's over. No more. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say, folks. I just want to come on and give you guys some closure because I know a lot of you guys are like, what the fuck? Why did you just take all your shit down and leave a community post? Like, give some context. So here I am doing that. Truth of the matter is, I beat Noodle's ass in hostile territory with hostile judges I never agreed to. I still beat him. Anyone with a brain can see that. Anyone that's not biased can see that. I had the significantly superior argumentation. Insults aside, jokes aside, beef aside. On a purely logical basis, I had superior argumentation and empirical backing. It's just that simple. It's that simple. It's pretty black and white. The reason, again, a reason Noodles had to go to judges I didn't agree to. There's a reason why he cut it short. Because he couldn't stand toe to toe with me argumentatively. He couldn't. Whether it's packing or debating, he can't do it. He doesn't have the ability to do so. The skill set, the intelligence. But yeah, I'm starting to ramble again. I'm going to end it here, folks. I just want to end off by saying I do appreciate the real supporters out there that have been, by our side since the beginning. I'm talking even, when J Talks was episode 1, I had a shitty mic and I was in some fucking fucked up room and I was just talking about nothing. I appreciate all you guys, man. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter whether it's me, Noodles, Six, even Swag, none of us are shit without you guys. We're all just, if it weren't for you guys, we'd literally be some fucking randoms talking about anime in front of a fucking screen to nobody. That's all we'd be. I know people like Noodles and Six try to flaunt like they're superior just because they have a little bit of a following. They're not. They're nothing without you. I'm nothing without you. That's just the truth of the matter. Truth of the matter. We're not better than you in any way. We're not. Yeah, we all have egos, including myself. We're not special. We just got lucky, and enough people like listening to what we have to say. That's all we are. We're not special. I will always admit that. Anyone that shows love, I will always show love back. What's funny is these guys don't. They really fucking don't. They look down on you. You donate to them. They'll talk down on you. It's like, bro, have some appreciation for where you're at. Have some appreciation for where you are at and be grateful that people give a fuck about you. Because it's very easy for people not to. Very easy. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up, folks. Much love to all of you guys. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you in the next video. God bless.
Out in the six, I'm a national treasure. The niggas that bad me gon' bad me forever. R.I.P. Kobe, but y'all niggas brokey. That's probably why y'all be shacking together. Capo and Leader got habits together. Like couples vacation, they packing together. Like rushing to finish, they'll slap it together. The charges like COVID, they'll catch it together.